Welcome to the SOB radio show, where we have fun, interesting guests, and hot topics. Each week, we offer insights into music, fashion, health, fitness, and humor. Do you have the perfect guest for us to interview? I want to know. Drop me a line on our Facebook page at Spunky Old Broad 1 or reach out to me on our website at spunkyoldbroad.com. And now, back to the show. Hi, everybody. I am back with Irene Michaels, who is a lifelong entertainer, entrepreneur, and accomplished equestrian who's made it a priority to lead an active, healthy lifestyle. And as I've told you before in our first segment, she discovered her passion for dance at the age of 11, went on to become a dancer, model, actress, owner of a successful modeling agency, and a producer. And she is widely recognized as a beauty and luxury lifestyle expert, is the author of Eye on Beauty, Living Beautifully and Luxuriously Beyond 50, which is a #1 international bestseller in 7 countries across multiple categories. And her On the Eye on the Scene website shares the scoop on entertainment, culture, and fashion. Her On the Youth collection by Irene Michaels fills the need for effectively moderately priced anti-aging skincare solution. So welcome back, Irene. And one of the questions that I know our audience may have, because it seems to be a situation that women as they age deal with, is hair loss. So what are some of the tips that you have for preventing hair loss? And is it genetic, or is it something from your system, or where does that come from?
That's a very good question, also. And I also feel like a victim of hair loss. Anyone that is our age is going to have hair loss. Now, we actually lose anywhere between 50 and 100 strands of hair a day. It's more, it shows more if you have long hair. Now, here are the statistics. 80 million men and women lose their hair a year. That is just crazy. Those are big numbers. And the first thing I would say to do is to consult a doctor or your beautician, to make sure that you consult someone so they can identify what is the problem. Now, what I have done and I found to work is that I boil water and I put potatoes in it and I put rosemary, and then it makes its own rinse, and it calms down, cools down, and then I put the rinse on my hair at night. Not every night, but when my hair is ready to be shampooed, I put the rinse on, and then sometimes I might just sleep in it. Sometimes it depends if my hair is half dry or half wet. Then you can also put an aloe vera. If you put aloe vera into your shampoo bottle, that seems to help. Aloe vera helps so many things. Or you could use apple cider vinegar. After washing your hair, if you put cider vinegar on top of your hair, it closes the cuticle, and of course then you rinse it out. But it makes the hair extremely shiny. And again, one of the most healthy things to do for your hair is massage your scalp. Put your head upside down and massage your scalp, if you could, for 5 minutes. And one of the as we know, one of the most common hair loss problems is from stress. So again, back to stress, you want to try to remain calm. Also, childbirth will have women lose hair, and some of it's just hereditary, and not too much we can do about that.
It's interesting because there are a lot of women. I mean, I go to a lot of, well, I did go to a lot of places where you do see women with thinning hair. And I wonder how self-conscious they are about it. I wonder if they recognize it, because we don't always see ourselves. I mean, we don't always see the top of our head, or we don't always see, different parts of us that other people see, simply because, we're not viewing ourselves the way they do. But, anything you can do to help prevent hair loss is certainly going to help you mentally and emotionally. But what about staying stylish as you age? We mentioned in our other segment about what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear. And I do have to say that my mom, she died at 99 and a half, and that woman was stylish. I mean, she really dressed well, and she had some of the funnest things too. I mean, she had kooky t-shirts with the sequins, and things like that. But she always dressed like a lady. I mean, she was really. I have to admire how she took care of herself. So, what are some of your tips for staying stylish as you age? Because the tendency is, especially now, to let yourself go.
Oh, that's a no-no. I admire your mother also. That's a big tip right there, is dressing like a lady. You're not 15, 20, 30, or 40 any longer. When you're 60, 70, and 80, you have to dress appropriately. And I think one good suggestion is to find a designer that caters to that. Don't go to 21 or Levi to try to find something that is going to look good on you. It's better. Not that jeans are a bad thing. They're certainly okay, but they should fit well, and you should be fit. So you must stay fit at any age, especially if you want to be stylish as a mature woman. You have to maintain your body. Um, you cover your grays. I mean, I'm all for that. If women don't want to dye their hair, that's okay too, but I prefer that. And you have to pay attention to color. You can't wear big, bold colors. Uh, Stylish shoes, of course, always comfortable. Stay away from busy clothes, as I said earlier. If you're wearing jeans, they shouldn't be torn, or they shouldn't have all these fancy appliques on them. Leave that for the 20-year-olds. And my go-to designer is Ralph Lauren for their simple, clean lines. For me, that works.
Yeah, there are certain designers that I think are better for women who are, um, let's say, of a certain age. And I know that I shop a lot at Chico's and places like that, and I'm a great sales shopper. I mean, I hate to pay full price for anything, but Chico's does have great sales, so I do like their clothing. I have to say that I think that the most important thing is you don't want to, if you're overweight or if you have a few lumps here or there, you don't want to wear belts that are too tight that show your midriff, in a bad capacity. You also don't want to wear things that are too low cut, or the skirts, as I mentioned
Right.
earlier, that are too high, and I think that just use common sense. I know sometimes you see something, you say, "Oh, I'd love to have it," but it just isn't for you. For example, I'm very short. So when the middies came out, mid calf, that was not something that looked good on me. Now, I did wear things just below the knee because that was the style, so to speak. But now, if I am wearing a skirt, which I haven't worn in a very long time, it's mid knee. That's where it is. So, you talk also about pets, and I want to mention this because I have now one surviving cat. I had to put my other cat down a week ago, and it was very traumatic for me. But I've done this so many times with all the pets that I've had. But the one that I have now, the cat, is just with me everywhere. She has her place in my office. When I sit on the couch, she's right next to me. When I'm in the bed, she's right next to me. But I talk to her and I tell her how much I love her, and she talks back to me. She meows all the time. And there's no question that pets are a healthful part of your day and a source of joy. They're also a pain in the neck at times, but they're just wonderful to have around. So tell us about your experience in terms of pets being healthy for someone.
Well, it's been proven that people who have pets live longer. That's number one. And they also bring a lot of life and joy into the household. And especially for empty nesters, I think pets are a necessity. And as children also, I think pets are good for children because it teaches them responsibility and discipline. It gives them something to take care of. It builds character. And I firmly believe that. And also, pets are healing. That's why they bring pets into hospitals, or people who have cancer and can't do much and they're in the hospital bed. These service animals are an immense joy. I could share a story with you that after I had my horse accident and I wasn't able to move very well, I would hire a car. It was like a medical van where the wheelchair could be put into it, and I would be driven to the barn where my horse is, and then I'd be lowered down and I'd be pulled or pushed to the stall where my horse was. And just to be able to see him and look in his eyes and feel his regal beast stature was so exciting to me. I always am excited when I go there, and I always feel immense joy. And so I think animals are extremely important. In my case, I have horses, I have dogs, I have cats, I have a couple of turtles, and one bird.
Well, I've had kind of all of those, but my biggest success, of course, are with dogs and cats. But I have to say, I interviewed a fellow not too long ago who he contributes to the service dogs for PTSD soldiers who come back and have issues. And what those animals do, they have not had, even though the suicide rate for returning vets is very high, they have not had one suicide from a soldier who has a service dog. And I think that is quite a statement in itself. And there's no question. I mean, I am not, of course, I'm not a depressed person anyway, but I can tell you that just having this creature in my home, it just motivates me. I mean, she is just, well, all of my animals have always motivated me. But the other thing is, I do what everybody tells you not to do. I sleep with my animals. I mean, I just, when I had dogs and cats, now I only have a cat because I can't have a dog where I am. But, which I think is very funny. I can't have a dog, but I can have 3 cats, which is very interesting. But my husband once took a picture of the cat. I was dead asleep in bed, and the cat was across my neck, and the dog was right next to my side. And he said, nobody would even believe you could sleep like that. But that was, to me, heaven. So I agree, pets are a great stimulus for you. So what is your outlook on life for women over 50, Irene? I mean, what do you tell them in this book of yours?
Well, first of all, I think we should say a big hooray that we've made it this far.
Well, I'm into that.
And really, today, 50 is not old at all. And in my book, one of the lines is 50 is the beginning and not the end. There's so much life to give. We have to look at it as a gift. What is the alternative? Of course, we want to look good. And in my book, it tells you about ways you could look good, feel good, stay fit, what to eat, some of my beauty red carpet secrets. And I hope that all of you pick up a copy of I Am Beauty, Living Luxurious, Beautifully and Luxurious Beyond 50. That will certainly, in my opinion, help women. That's be my joy.
Well, I can tell you that in terms of what people need to do when you talk about 50, is not old. It is not old. And it's really a wonderful time because many people are empty nesters. So the kids are gone. Many people have decided, well, I've worked for 30 years or 20 years or 10 years or not at all, and I can now do what I want. So they may go into business for themselves, or they may volunteer for something that they've always wanted to do, or they may even take up a hobby that they've always wanted to do and never had time for. So there's just all these things that you can start doing. And I think that when people look at where they are and not you look at 50 as, oh my gosh, it's half over, but look at my life is just beginning, it makes a huge difference. And so I think that people, and so where can they get your book, Irene? Where should they go to get your book? And let's talk about, how people can get in touch with you and where they can find you.
Okay. My book is exclusively sold on Amazon, and it's either a Kindle, a paperback, or a hardcover. And my website is ionthescene.com, and there's ways to reach me through my website, and that's the best way I would guess.
So when they go to your website, it's one word, the letter I, on the scene.com, correct?
That is correct.
So if you go there, you'll find out who Irene is, what she looks like, her what's available, and so forth. And if you go to Amazon, you'll find her book, which is Eye on Beauty: Living Beautifully and Luxuriously Beyond 50. So here you are at 75. You got all these things going, Irene. What's ahead for Irene in the future?
Okay, more books, more music. I study music, feeling good, staying healthy, just continuing my regiment and what I do now that has gotten me this far.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, that is what it's all about. It's staying true to what you've been doing and maybe having to adjust a little bit. I mean, we all have to adjust as things happen to us, but the important thing is that we keep going. I mean, I know that I mean, I used to go to the gym and work out 2 hours a day because I did an hour of my own routine and then I'd take an hour class. And then, of course, I didn't go to the gym anymore because I wasn't going to take that chance. And many of the gyms were closed anyway. And so I started working out at home, and I just did an hour a day because there was not the extra class. And then now I've not been able to work out as much because I've had other issues, but I try to keep moving all the time. And that's the key to everything. Keep moving and keep doing. And every day I get up with this purpose of, hey, it's going to be a great day and I'm going to keep going no matter what. And of course, I do tell you, though, I will say, Irene, I don't know about you, I go to bed earlier and I get up later. Just what is, And so I just wonder what things you might have had to change as time goes by.
Well, one of the very important things I should mention, Dr. Carson, is that I think you really need to have a goal. I think it's very important, just like you get up every day and you say, okay, this is going to be a great day. I'm going to do A, B, or C. For me, I need a goal, and then I acquire and accomplish that goal, and then I go on to the next goal. And that's what keeps me alive and just continuing on my path. It's just an ever-ending path. Now, I'm not sure if that answered your question or not.
Well, you talk about a goal, and that the problem is a lot of people have too many goals or too many projects. If you can just do one great thing in a day that is meaningful to you and someone else, that's what you need to do. And so I think that, they talk about New Year's resolutions, and by the middle of January, they're gone already. So I think intentions are really important, things that are important to you, projects that you have on the plate that you want to have come to fruition. And like you say, I'm going to write more books. Well, writing a book is not an easy project. You've got to sit down, whether it's an hour a day or 3 hours a day or 30 minutes a day, but you've got to sit down and write it. So, that is what you do. And I do think, even though, you've got your free time, and I know I have a sister who's 5 years older than I am, and she's really active. And she says, "How did I get all this stuff done when I was working?" She was a psychotherapist, and but she's very active now in social justice and things like that. And she says, "But you have to have a schedule, and you have to have a plan." And when people retire, one of the reasons that they don't retire well is they don't have a plan. And you do have to have a plan. And I think you have to have a schedule. So, those are things that people need to be aware of, because if you don't, your day just kind of wastes away and you don't feel like you've accomplished anything. So we have about 5 minutes left. Irene, what have we not talked about that you think is important?
Let me think about that for a second. I think you said you were married, doctor?
Well, I'm widowed now. My husband passed away 12 years ago.
I will say this, that never give up, especially what I did was kind of, well, I'd say pretty outstanding at my age. I didn't get married till I was 73.
You mean for the first time?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Wow, Irene.
There's always hope out there, and I want to stress that because there's somebody out there for you. If you're single, never ever give up hope that there's nothing in life for you because you're older. Not true, and I'm a living example. You must put those signals out there. You have to feel good about yourself because you mirror what you get. It's like you put great signals out there and you will receive greatness. That's what my belief is.
Wow. I have a friend who married at 80, and I've been reading all these stories in People magazine about people in their 80s who have who were married, but their spouses have passed away and they've reconnected from high school. They were high school sweethearts and they're happy. And it's interesting. I just came out with a new program called Finding Love After 50. So if anybody is interested in that program, by the way, you can go to my SOBuniversity.com site, and it's there for you, Finding Love After 50. And I talked to a couple of women yesterday who took the program, and they said, wow, what a revelation it was for them. So and what I did was I interviewed 5 dating coaches who've worked with over 1,000 women successfully finding romance. And then I interviewed a guy who was in one of my mastermind groups. And I thought, maybe we need a male's point of view. And she said that he was the highlight of the program, that he told so many things that she had never even thought about as a woman that was important to a man. And it just changed her whole viewpoint. So, but I guess I need to ask you why you waited until 73.
I didn't feel I needed to be married. I was perfectly fine.
Same way. I tell you something, Irene. I felt the same way. My husband asked me to marry him the night he met me, and I said no for 3.5 years and dated all other kinds of people. But he was perfect for me because he was 50 years ahead of his time. And he was, although he had, he had a business and he worked and everything, but he helped at home and he loved being with the kids, and he didn't care that I traveled around the world, and he trusted me. And if I was gone for a week, which I was gone all the time, he was fine with it, because he said, I know where you are. I know what you're doing. So I was very fortunate, and it lasted for 45 years. So he was the right one for me. But I can tell you, I totally get where you are coming from. And people say to me now, how come you haven't dated? And I said, because I really don't need to. I'm perfectly fine by myself. But I understand why many people need that. So we have about, just about a minute left. Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Yes. I would say that many people ask me where I met my husband. And it's a sort of an interesting story. My husband's a producer, and he was producing a show for Frank Sinatra. And at that time, moons ago, I was dating someone that Frank Sinatra knew. So Frank Sinatra actually put me and my husband together, which is kind of outstanding in itself. It was quite interesting. I used to double date with Frank Sinatra.
That is fantastic. Well, folks, you've heard it here. My guest has been Irene Michaels. You can find her on ionthescene.com. Her book is Eye on Beauty, Living Beautifully and Luxuriously Beyond 50. She has a beautiful youth collection of skincare. And thanks so much for being with us, Irene. It's been an absolute joy, and I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
Yes, I have. And thank you so much.
You're